Okay guys, session 5 is an upper body session. It's the second session of the week working on the upper body. I'm presuming that you've watched the upper body A workout and that you've attempted that, and any questions that you might have had about that, you've asked us. It's quite weird filming these videos ahead of time when we haven't even released the ones that we've already filmed yet, and so feedback that we get this week will obviously roll over into next week's videos, but we're just going to plow on regardless anyway. So we have the same structure. I've spoke about A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, C3. They're to be done as little blocks, back-to-back exercises, or in the case of when it's 3 exercises in a little circuit, okay? So we have Pike press-ups. So this is a way of sort of inverting yourself almost in like a down dog, yoga down dog position, and performing what look like press-ups, but it's targeting more of the shoulder than the chest. Still going to be quite a lot of tricep, but it's more of an overhead movement than a horizontal push. We have an isometric rowing hold, which all of this I'm going to demonstrate later in this video. So the pike press, we're going to go 3 to 5 reps. The rowing hold, we're going to hold isometrically, so still, for 10 to 30 seconds. We're going to perform that for 5 sets. Then the B section is going to be a object. I don't know what we're going to have access to in your house. So an object, overhead press to tempo. We've covered tempo. Here's the 4 digits that you need for the tempo. So we have a 5, which is the first number is always the down number. So the down would be a 5-second movement. The next number is a 0, so we do nothing when we get here. We don't hold. We press for 5, so it's 5 going back overhead. And then the next number is a 0, so we do nothing when we get to the top of the movement. So it's 5 down, nothing, 5 up, nothing. And we just keep moving through that 5 up, 5 down movement pattern for 10 reps. And then we have so the object for you could be anything. It could be, you might have weights, use them. It might be a piece of furniture, use that. It could be anything. So if you're really struggling for ideas of something to press overhead, then drop me a message and we'll brainstorm together. Single arm row. So again, to tempo, same numbers, the 5s are in there, but we're going to use them in a slightly different order. So the first number is a 5, so that would be the down. So if I'm rowing and I've just performed a row, the 5, the first number would be the down, so that's this bit, 5 seconds down. The next number is a 0, so I do nothing when I get to the bottom of the row. Then there's a cross, which means perform fast, so I'm rowing quick. And then there's a 5 as the last digit, which is what I do when I get to this position. So I hold for 5 seconds, so that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing, pull fast, hold for 5, down for 5. Up fast, hold 5, down 5. And we do that obviously on both arms because it's a single arm row. I've put object. Again, I'm going to use a rucksack. You might have a kettlebell, you might have a dumbbell, you might have a sandbag with a handle attached to it. You could have anything. If you're struggling, again, contact me or Gaz and we'll brainstorm together and we'll try and come up with something that you could use to row. Failing that, there's the towel version, single arm towel version that we used in the workout earlier in the week. So do that, but just use this new tempo maybe. We're going to do 10 reps on the press overhead. We're going to do 10 reps on the row on each arm. We're going to do 4 sets back to back, okay? Then this C part, we have a press up, which traditionally is more chest and triceps. We're going to make a modification to that. I'll cover that in the video in a second. It's going to target, it's still going to be chest, it's still going to be triceps, but we're going to hit the biceps a bit more than what a traditional press up would. They're very hard, so I'm going to give you a few options for that. Then we have a isometric hold for triceps, using a towel again. Towel, like I said, is going to be one of your best friends. Everyone's going to have a towel at home, so this is going to be something we're going to keep going back to and trying to incorporate that as much as possible. So the press ups was 8 to 15. The towel hold is going to be up to 30 seconds. You can change that if you're struggling, 10 to 20 seconds if needs be. Then we're going to do an abs exercise, again using the towel. Most of you will have performed a variation of this Pallof Hold or Pallof Press type movement with me or Gaz in a class or in PT. So it's an anti-rotational movement. So we're going to be challenging the body's ability to stay still, I guess, against an external force that's asking us to rotate to the side. And the exercise basically is to strengthen the body's ability to resist force that's encouraging us to rotate. And that's going to be 20 seconds each side, and we're going to do that for 3 sets. So that's the overview. This is going to be typed up in the caption, above or below. I need to learn whether this is going above or below in the caption. I'm going to perform the workout now, film it, give you some variations, and yeah, just generally get strong as fuck with body weight. Okay guys, first exercise of this workout is a pike press up. So as I alluded to earlier, it is a press up that focuses more on the overhead element, as in pushing overhead as opposed to pushing horizontal with a typical push-up. So I'm going to show you a few variations. So the bog standard variation would look something like this. So I'm going to set up like in almost like a down dog, where I'm trying to shift my hips up in the air. Hands a little bit wider than your shoulders, and then I'm going to drop my head forwards. I'm not aiming for the floor in between my thumbs, I'm aiming for the floor slightly forward of my hands. So where my two hands are and my head land, they form a triangle. Okay, if I joined up those dots, they form a triangle. So hands placed as if I was doing a push-up, keep my hips high, elbows want to move back behind me, so not out to the side, back behind me. My weight drops forwards, head to the floor, and then I push back out of that position. So from another angle, hips up, maybe just do it head on. Hips up high, hands as if I was doing a press up, keep my hips up high, my elbows are pointing backwards, my head travels forwards of my hands, contact with the floor, push back where I came from, okay? It's a lot harder than it looks. You'll find that out when you try it yourself. So let's do some easier options first. So all you're going to do for easier options, you're going to do the same setup as I just explained, except instead of the floor as your target for your head, you're going to set up a higher surface. I suggest something soft. So here, it could be anything. So here we've got one of the mats in the gym. So I set up the same. So this is effectively bringing the floor up closer to me, making the range of movements shorter, i.e. easier. So I would do the same thing, head travels forwards, make contact with the surface, press away. Now that could be replaced with something even higher. I mean, this might be a little bit too high, but you get the idea. So I set up the surface that I'm going to try and make contact with is forward of the hands, not in between the hands. Elbows point backwards, and let my weight drift forwards. Where is it? There it is, then I push back. Drift forwards, make contact, then I push back. Okay, so that's easier options. Harder options, as you can see from my little arrangement of various bits of kit, you're just gonna look to take the feet up. So the same thing happens, i.e. you set the hands up the same, the head travels in the same direction forward of the hands. You just have feet more in an elevated position, which loads more weight, more of your body weight onto your hands. So I'll just do a quick rep if I'm capable. So we'd either go on a low step, could be a couple of bucks, could be your bottom step of your stairs. Same thing, load up, keep your hips high, elbows travel back, head travels forwards, contact with the floor, push up. That is noticeably harder, making me think that I shouldn't have set that wooden box up. Step goes up a little bit higher again, hips up high. The closer your hands are to your feet, the harder it's going to be. Head travels forwards, contact with the floor, push up. Surface goes higher. The closer your hands are to your feet, the harder it's going to be. It's a little bit of a flexibility question as well. My flexibility is not what it used to be. Head travels forward of the hands, contact with the floor, push up. Then the final one, again, it's people with a little bit more flexibility in the hamstrings. They're going to find this a bit of an easier position to get into. Feet go up, so it's starting to look a bit more like a handstand now, which is effectively what it is, a simpler version of a handstand push-up. Head travels forward of the hands, elbows still travelling backwards, contact with the floor, and then we push back up. There should be an option there for everybody. We're only doing 3 to 5 reps, so you don't even have to stick to the same variation. Got turf in my mouth. You don't have to stick to the same variation, so you could do 1 to the floor, 1 to a pillow, 1 to a book. You could do 1 to the highest surface and work down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the floor. Play with it, but work to your upper ability. Exercise 2 we have is the rowing isometric. So we're going to use the chair that I use to demonstrate the handstand push-ups. We might not have a chair at home that we can get underneath. We could do a coffee table, we could do a dinner table, we could have 2 chairs and maybe fix something between them. We could have 2 chairs side by side, and if we can't get underneath it, we hold 2 of the sides of the chairs and pull up. You just need something that you can lie down underneath, really with a grip somewhere. I'll show you what I mean here. So, fortunately I fit under this chair. I accept that some people might not be able to fit under all their chairs at home, nor have they tried to, but it's basically like a body row that we would do in the rings. Grip the chair, pull up, you can hear my second counter going, and then go for 30 seconds, that's about 8, 9, 10. I'm trying to pull this chair down into the floor. If it's too easy, we could go 1 leg. Not that it's too easy. Switch the legs. I've lost count. Maybe let's do another 10. 9, 8, 7, 6. Pinching them shoulder blades together. 2, 1. Okay, isometric hold. Section B is an object overhead press and an object single arm row. So I'm just having a quick think what we could use for objects. It depends what you've got, but water's going to be a friend of yours. So I'm gonna overhead press a bucket here with water. I weighed it, and it's only like 8 kilos, but when we add in tempo, that's going to be pretty hard. I'm just going to try and not spill any on my head. So we're going to go overhead press, 5 up, 5 down, without spilling any on our head. So just going to make sure your technique's pretty tidy. So off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually wobbling. It's a really nice added challenge as well. Okay, and then with the same bucket we just overhead pressed, we're going to do our single arm row. So that was an up, hold for 5, down for 5, for 10 reps. So, like we normally would at the gym, this would normally be a kettlebell or a dumbbell, same shape. So we're going to pull, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 down, 2, 3, 4, 5, pull. 5, pull. Okay guys, that bucket got pretty heavy pretty quick, so we're moving on to section C. We've got 3 exercises left. We've got the bicep press ups. So basically to set up for a bicep press up, let's do it this way. I'm going to show you the knees version. So it's the same idea as if we were doing here or here. The only thing that's going to be different is we're going to turn the hands around so that the fingers face back towards the body, and then we're going to move the hands back towards the hips. So we're going back here. So I'd normally be up here. I'm going to turn the hands around and bring them back towards my hips, and then I'm going to get my position the same as if I was doing a normal 3/4 press up off my knees. Take my chest down to the floor. So my hands are back behind where so they'd normally be here. They're now here. Push into the kind of the butt of the hand. You'll still feel it in your chest, maybe a little bit in your triceps, but you'll definitely feel it in your biceps. 4, 5, there's 5 on my knees. Do I risk it from my feet? So from my feet it would look like this. 6, 7, See how my body's coming forward, much further forward than my hands. 10. Definitely getting a sensation in the biceps there, so give them a go. The set, yeah, I think I can't see the board from me, I think it was like 8 to 15 on that. So yeah, bicep press ups, give them a whirl. Second exercise in section C is isometric tricep extension. So we're going to use the towel for this. You want to be grabbing a hold of one end of the towel on the two corners, whipping it back around your back like a cape. Find a surface to sit on. You want to be sitting onto the towel. So that's going to ensure that the towel doesn't move. Take the hands up as if you were doing your standard tricep, overhead tricep extension with dumbbells or whatever we'd normally use. Get your grip. Abs tight, so watch your ribs aren't flaring out. Abs tight. And then try to pull that towel from underneath your butt. Everything you've got. Ribs in, keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And then the final exercise in section C is the Pallof Hold. So we're going to set the towel up like we did on the other workout, upper body workout, around the handle. So here, if you're not sure how to do this, I made a video just about setting the towel up like this. And what we're going to do, just grip a section towel like we did for the 1 arm row, but we're going to hold it with both hands on the side here. The leg furthest away from the door goes forwards, the other leg goes backwards, and then get up as tight to the wall as the door as you can. Then you're going to lean away from the door, abs tight, so if I let go of this now I would fall this way, and then all I'm going to do is take that ab to a position where I can still keep that position tidy, and then hold. I'm on the outside edge of the front foot, the ball of the back foot, ribs are in, abs are tight, squeezing my butt.